Hello everyone and welcome back to Turkish Spotlight Secrets. We're thrilled you're here because today's story is the kind that makes you lean in, smile without realizing it, and remember why we root for love in the first place. If heart-stealing romances are your thing, you've absolutely clicked on the right video. We're diving into a whirlwind that has charmed countless fans across the globe, the love between Gökberk Yıldırım and Cemre Arda. They won over audiences with sparks that felt too real to be just acting. And now, away from the lights, they're proving that tenderness and loyalty can glow even brighter off-screen. Get comfortable, because we're going to stroll through their beginnings, relive their sweetest moments, and unravel the quiet magic that makes their bond feel so rare and so genuine. And before we go any further, hit subscribe so you never miss our deep dives, juicy updates, and soothing doses of romance from the entertainment world, because this ride is just getting started. So, who are Gökberk and Cemre to the public? For many, they are the unforgettable Cambalat and Ida Yıldız from the beloved phenomenon Senkelcam, but what they share reaches far beyond scripts and stage directions. Their connection has become a modern-day fable, the kind that reminds us that the unexpected can bring us exactly where we were meant to be. Two talented Turkish stars whose on-screen electricity transformed into a life they're quietly building together. Their story refuses to be just another celebrity chapter, it insists on being the whole book. The spark was struck long before Senkelcam. It started back in 2014, on the set of Kiraz Mepsimi. That's where their paths first overlapped. There, they brought to life Oyku and Oz, a couple constantly tested, often teasing, always drawing closer, and while those characters told one kind of story, reality began writing another. They were co-workers at first, sharing chaotic shoot days, late-night rehearsals, and the bond that naturally forms when people chase the same dream. Admiration snuck in. Then laughter turned to comfort. And slowly, beneath the lines and lights, something warmer began to grow. Imagine those marathon days. The table reads where glances lingered a beat too long, the scenes that required trust, the rehearsals that blurred into confidences. In that charged space where fiction and feeling overlap, two people recognized each other, really recognized each other. And when that happens, it doesn't take much more than a shared look to set everything in motion. Whispers started softly. Fans, always watching, always piecing together the puzzle, began to sense it. They noticed how a smile lasted a second longer than it used to, how a casual arm around a shoulder wasn't just a pose. The internet became a magnifying glass. In every photo, in every interview, in every live stream, clues seemed to sparkle. Not flashy, not staged. Just small signs that pointed in the same direction. In the digital age, people read between the pixels, and what they read was a story slowly admitting itself. What set them apart from the noise is how they chose to carry it. While many let fame pull them into a carnival of exposure, Gökberk and Cemre did something bolder, they protected what they'd found. They opted for genuine moments instead of choreographed content. They kept their circle small, their confidence larger, and their love sheltered from the storms of speculation. There was no grand announcement, no stunt. When they finally nodded to the truth, it was subtle, almost shy, a quiet gift for the fans who had believed from the beginning. And when it happened, the reaction was pure sunlight. The couple we all adored on screen turned out to be real, and the relief and happiness across their community was almost tangible. Watching them evolve has been the true thrill. It's one thing to fall in love, it's another to keep choosing each other as life grows louder. They've gone from co-actors sharing marks on the floor to companions who share a horizon. They turn up for each other. They celebrate and console and carry on. Photos from their trips, videos from lazy afternoons, glimpses of quiet kitchens and airplanes and early morning scripts, they all carry a sweetness you can't fake. Their smiles feel unforced. Their eyes find each other without trying. And in a world that rewards theatrics, their simplicity is disarming. What is it about Gökberk's love for Cemre that stops you mid-scroll and makes you breathe differently? Maybe it's the honesty. Nothing about them feels staged. When their hands find each other, it's never for the camera, it's because that's how they anchor themselves. Their laughter often starts small and ends with one of them looking at the other like they've just remembered their favorite secret. Authenticity is their first asterisk. They're not chasing a glossy illusion. They're letting us see love that's comfortable in its own skin. Another key is respect. Even with the world watching, their individuality remains intact. He champions her work, she fights for his dreams, and neither tries to rewrite the other. That balance is rare. It means cheering loudly when the other takes the spotlight, and just as loudly when they need a hand. He has spoken about her dedication with a sincerity that silences a room, and she has shared how his steadiness keeps her grounded. The words matter because they ring true. When Gökberk calls Cemre brilliantly focused, when he says she's the kind of person who lifts everyone around her, you can hear that it's not an interview line, it's a lived reality. And when Cemre talks about the safety she feels with him, about the way he makes her laugh when she's tired and holds space when she's fragile, it lands with the weight of truth. And of course, there's discretion. The third asterisk. They know when to close the door. They don't feed frenzy, they starve it. That choice doesn't erase them from the public eye, it protects the parts that can't withstand applause. In a culture hungry for spectacle, their restraint feels rebellious. They've shown that you can glow in the limelight without burning your heart. Think about Senkelcam. The pull between Cambalat and Ida Yıldırım was so immediate, so lived in, that viewers around the world were swept along. Once we understood that the electricity wasn't contrived, that it carried the pulse of something real, it turned a great series into an unforgettable experience. Their glances felt like dialogue. Their silences felt like confession. That kind of on-screen connection doesn't happen often, and when it does, it's because there's something honest beneath the performance. And then remember Karaz Mepsimi, that first crossroads where Oyku and Oz gave them a rehearsal for something they couldn't name yet. It's as if the universe wrote a prologue years in advance. Back then, they didn't overthink it. They just did the work, showing up day after day, building trust. Without realizing it, they practiced for the roles that would matter most when the scripts were gone. They have crafted a partnership on 3 pillars: trust, communication, and love. Trust, so that long nights and hard headlines don't shake the foundation. Communication, so that pride and fear don't turn small bumps into cliffs. And love, quiet, daily, practical love, that keeps pointing both of them back to the same home. In the relentless pace of fame, those are not luxuries. They're essentials. Notice what you don't see with them: no attention-chasing scandals, no performative drama. Their story prefers growth over gossip. They've adapted to the demands of new projects, navigated distance and exhaustion, and kept their compass steady. When their schedules collide, they adjust. When the urge to hide becomes strong, they retreat just long enough to return stronger. That flexibility is a kind of wisdom. What Gökberk shows with his devotion to Cemre is that real-life romance can be every bit as arresting as what the audience dreams about. It's not made of grand gestures and red carpets, it's made of the kind of consistency that doesn't photograph easily. A warm coat handed over when the wind turns. A pep talk before a risky scene. A late-night grocery run when the day already felt a mile too long. That's the architecture of a love meant to last. And it's why so many people find themselves rooting for them as if they were cheering for their own friends. Consider Senkelcam as well, that project whose aura still clings to them. It sharpened what many already suspected: when they share the frame, they bring out colors in each other that no one else can. The chemistry between Cambalat and Ida was not just written. It was discovered, uncovered, and then lovingly protected. The show reflected the bond that existed away from the lens, turning each scene into a mirror of something deeper. The beauty of what they have is that it doesn't pretend to be flawless. They've spoken openly, carefully, but clearly, about learning how to argue kindly, how to apologize fast, how to keep their promises when things get loud. The result isn't a glossy fairy tale, it's a relationship with a strong spine. They know the other's calms and tempers, strengths and soft spots, and they choose each other with that full knowledge. That's intimacy. We also see how they treat time. They're intentional about the little windows between obligations. A stolen breakfast. A drive with music turned up and phones turned off. Small rituals become anchors in their week. Those mundane minutes are where love proves itself, quietly and completely. Fans feel this. It's why the comment sections under their joint appearances are full of the same words again and again: peace, warmth, home. You can stage fireworks. You can't fake that. Their presence together eases people. It suggests a way to be in love that doesn't exhaust you. And that, in an era of spectacle, might be their boldest message. They also handle the public eye with a grace that feels studied in the best sense. They know when to lean into the camera and when to step back. They understand that curiosity is inevitable, but chaos is optional. So they curate, carefully. A photo here, a laugh there. Just enough to say, we're good. We're happy. Thank you for caring. And then they return to their real life, the one the world only glimpses. It's impossible to ignore how their careers benefit from their steadiness. Directors trust a duo that trusts each other. Co-stars enjoy sets where kindness is the default. Crews respond to professionalism that arrives with a quiet smile. Their love doesn't just give them a private refuge, it radiates outward, shaping the rooms they work in. That's a legacy most headlines never measure. When Gökberk praises Cemre, his words carry the texture of detail. He talks about her discipline, how she studies until the pages soften in her hands, how she arrives on set earlier than anyone because she respects the work. He calls her luminous, not because of lighting, but because she notices people, the way a makeup artist's day can be made with a compliment, the way a production assistant's stress can be eased with a joke. And Cemre's tributes to him are just as rich. She mentions the way he studies a scene partner who's nervous, how he finds humor when everyone else is tense, how he stands a little closer when the world feels cold. These aren't slogans. They're observations that only come from paying attention. Their followers witnessed the journey, from a rumor born on the set of Kara's Mepsimi to the blaze that Senkelcam fanned, to the settled warmth of a partnership day by day. Each phase taught them something and taught us something too, that love doesn't need to be loud to be strong, that discretion is not secrecy but respect, that fame can coexist with intimacy if you learn where the lines must be drawn. If you're feeling your own heart soften listening to all this, you're not alone. That's the effect of stories like theirs, they remind us to look for the small proofs. A reassuring glance, a hand that finds yours without searching, a door held open without making a show of it. Those are the gestures that keep promises alive. Those are the scenes that never air but matter the most. So today we've retraced the arc of Gökberk Yıldırım and Cemre Arda's love, how a chance meeting in 2014 on Kara's Mepsimi placed them in the same orbit, how Senkelcam etched Kambalat and Ida Yıldız into countless hearts, and how Senkelcam echoed the deeper truth of their bond. Along the way, we've seen authenticity, respect, and discretion become their compass points. And we've seen how their on-screen electricity wasn't a trick of the light, but the reflection of an enduring devotion. Thank you for spending this time with us here on Turkish Spotlight Secrets. Tell us what moment of their journey captured you most. Which detail made you believe in their love? Share your thoughts in the comments, we read them all. If this story made you feel that familiar flutter, give it a like. Send it to friends who adore this couple, or to anyone who believes the best love stories are the ones written in everyday moments. And of course, if you haven't yet, subscribe and turn on notifications so you're the first to know when we bring you another tale worth holding on to. Until next time.